We're here in this segment of our program with Ty Wilson, one of our associate executive directors. I always get that wrong.
You can call me anything.
Happy Monday morning.
To you as well.
So what's happening in your life?
Well, number one, trying to recover from Thanksgiving.
Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
It was good, except for the, my sister-in-law. She'd kill me if she knew I was telling you this, but she didn't cook her turkey too well, and it was a little raw. So,
oh no.
So it kind of ruined our Thanksgiving, but.
I ate at a wonderful place here in Green Spring. I had turkey that must have been pulled off the live bird, the just cooked bird, and it was wonderful.
I know. I had to take my dining service hat off, and try to give some, kind of keep hands off of the, but I found myself back in there saying, put that turkey back in the oven. How can we fix this before the guests come? Right. But overall, good Thanksgiving.
Good. That's great. It's always good to be with family.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Right.
So I thought today I'd talk a little bit about, give the residents a good construction update.
Is there construction going on at Green Spring?
There's a little thing called construction going here at Green Spring. I think the most thing I'm proud of is getting the first floor bathrooms reopened.
Yes, that is wonderful.
I know residents were really looking forward to getting those bathrooms back online.
And they're lovely.
And they're, hopefully to the residents it was well worth the wait.
There you go. There you go.
And so, we did kind of hit a little snafu on some of the other areas with us getting our certificate of occupancy.
Mm-hmm.
And so
you can't just, anytime you have construction, you can't just open the door and say, okay, now it's fixed.
Yes. And so, you get the inspectors out. They want to make sure, number one, everything is safe for our residents and our staff. And so if they see anything, then they'll go ahead and, put in a request for us to fix these things. Mm-hmm. And so we're working through those challenges and problems now.
We have many different places. But as one place is finished, you're getting that open. We're not waiting for the whole project to happen.
Correct. I know initially when we started the construction project, we put everything under the same permit, which requires, with the county, they want to come out and do an inspection of all of these different areas at once, because they just don't have the time to kind of come back and forth. And so, we got them out. It was a few punch list items we needed to correct. So we are looking at, hopefully having things turned over by next week.
Good.
And so, we're looking at around December 10th or so that week.
So what would be opening that week?
So that would consist of the crafts room. We did have the kiln doctor come out, test the kiln, get all of those things inspected.
Excellent.
For that now is the craft room / visual arts studio is what it's being called now. That would be the new classroom located as well upstairs.
The one where the computer room was.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And so so those areas would be turned over and for us to be able to use again. The Potomac Cafe, we're hoping to get the certificate of occupancy during that time. Right now, it's doing a quick inspection upstairs, and they were installing the windows. That's the first area.
I saw the windows sitting in the hallway.
Oh yeah, that's the first area of town center. We wanted to get all the windows replaced, just like we did with residence homes.
Yeah.
And so that is happening now. That's probably anywhere from a week to a 2-week process, depending on the weather.
Okay.
But once we get that up and running, the team can go in and start preparing the menu and move forward and do training and things like that to get them.
Yeah, it's not a matter of
up.
just turn on the stoves and let's go in and start.
Correct. We got new additional equipment in there that the staff have to be trained on.
Sure.
One of the biggest things.
I'm excited about the pizza oven.
The double deck pizza oven to be able to offer those, kind of quick foods that'll be able to, meet resident needs that don't want to sit around and wait. And I think, not to, take away, step on dining services, standpoint, but, long-term plan is to really look at our hours of operation and be able to provide a more robust service to all of our residents. So that, we heard a lot, I got a lot of feedback about Night on the Town. I had the opportunity to attend the general council meeting.
I wish I had remembered to say that to Jason. How many, reading the comment cards, many compliments in all of our dining rooms for the Night on the Town.
Yes.
People really enjoyed it.
I heard Jason, talking a little bit about it. And that's, kind of one of the things that we want to be able to do is, typically we look at dinner only being from 4:15 to maybe 6:45, where the long-term plan is maybe we open up a few operations earlier. And if you want to go to a play, then you can earlier in the day.
Good
and that
idea.
kind of came out of the general council meeting last week.
Good.
And so we are looking at those types of things in our overall program on campus.
That's good.
And so that's it. Really, then the next step phase is the construction of the CVS. The CVS will remain open
good.
during the time
Until the new one is ready.
Until the new one is ready. That would consist of a wall being put up downstairs in the town center lobby. And that will block off, of course, where administration offices are.
And our new
up to
CVS
the
will be
mailbox.
quite a bit larger.
Correct. It's going to be a combination of a new style CVS that has a convenience store along with the pharmacy.
Good.
And again, as I mentioned in the past, we're excited for that partnership because, when you look at, procurement deals and things like that, high level, the CVS will be able to provide a more robust program
Sure.
to the residents that we weren't able to do.
Right.
And so I'm excited to see kind of the variety and things that are coming with the new CVS.
So I have a question, just because I don't know and I'm hearing rumors and I'd rather get the facts. On the front of the building, between Town Center and Grove Terrace, there's a whole lot of digging going on.
Oh, yes.
What's that about?
And so in order for, well, a lot of residents probably don't know, when you build restaurants, you have to have a way to exit the waste out of the facility. And one of the biggest wastes that we have is grease. And so we want to make sure that grease doesn't get tied up in our regular water line with gray water.
So we don't just pour
the correct. We
don't pour it down the sink.
Right. And so, and if that occurs, because we know accidents happen, the grease trap that's what they're installing in there will capture all of that grease and contain it so it doesn't get mixed up in the water.
So how do we get rid of
out.
grease? Let's say we're changing the oil in a deep fryer. What do we do with it?
Good question. So we have partnered, there's several couplers out there like Valley Protein and things like that. One of the neat things is that they'll take your leftover oil and turn it into biofuel. And we get good clean oil back. And so you dump it into a safe container that's located on the loading docks, and then someone comes and picks it up.
Okay, so it's kind of like emptying a septic tank.
Correct.
But the other part you were talking about, where if grease gets down, all this digging is a pit to pull off the grease?
Correct.
If grease...
Correct.
Okay.
So it's
how is it separated?
So it's through the line. So anytime any grease accidentally gets into the water line, it's like a filter that's dug, and depending on the size of the restaurant determines really the size of the grease trap.
Sure.
When I was with a university, they had a grease trap almost half the size of this room.
Oh, wow.
That would capture all of the grease and
Now,
things
how
that
is
go in
that
there.
grease taken out?
So a company would come out, a separate, plumbing company would come out, and they would suck all the grease out of the trap, and then they would dispose of it.
So that's
in a
why
safe
we
way.
have it on the front of the building, so trucks coming in
correct.
to do it can pull that out.
Correct. So you can have easy access to it.
Okay.
And you'll know when a grease trap is full because you'll really start smelling
No, we don't want to do
tainted
that.
smell. But location is very important, and
Sure.
we want it, of course, to be easy accessible.
Right.
And so they're putting the lines underground, running it up to Cork and Fork,
Right.
that new restaurant, and then tying it into the other grease line. And so there's some
There's a
additional work that needs
lot
to be
to
done.
it. I hadn't thought about that. I'd never heard of that before, but
yeah.
obviously in the dining services business, you're well aware of it for any
yeah.
restaurant to do that.
Well, I'm happy. I previously came from dining services and had the pleasure of kind of starting some of that design work. But it's necessary,
Right.
So that we don't have grease being circulated back into our water fountains, back into our showers and things
Right,
like
we
that.
don't need that.
We do not need grease.
No, none of us do. So I have a lovely balcony facing on the courtyard, and every morning I hear pounding, moving, stuff going on. It is fascinating to watch all the work that these guys are doing, and it's so obvious that they are on a very tight schedule.
Yes.
Because there's some days they're there till 7 or 8 at night.
Yes,
To get the next step done.
If a lot of residents ask, what is that huge kind of wall, wavy wall that's going
that's
on, and
pretty.
that's a retaining wall, so that when they put in the new pool, junior Olympic size pool, that just in case pipes bust or water,
Right.
it doesn't flood. But yeah, it is so it is a nice, neat kind of thing to look at.
But boy,
new
that
construction.
was hard to watch them do it, because first they had to put up all the rebar, and then they had to bring out a very
Yes.
large truck with forms that had to be dropped in by the biggest crane I've ever seen. It's just
Yeah.
Fascinating to learn how it's done.
This is, considered major construction, and one of the hardest things to do is do major construction in someone's house when they're living in it.
Yeah.
So we recognize that some days is better than others. It may be a huge inconvenience to some of our residents. I'm
enjoying
excited
every
to see.
minute of it. I'm taking photos. And I'll invite you residents, if any of the rest of you have photographs that we can put up on the village bridge of any of the construction, send them to me and we'll be happy to work on getting them up.
Yeah, I wish we had more space. I was, one of the things we were laughing about, having like a viewing party of, the construction and things like that. But, one of the things we're waiting on too is still, talk to our, corporate partners about our large renderings of, the CVS and things like that.
And we really appreciate you putting up the pictures that you did there on the first floor.
Yeah, thank you. And, we want to get larger ones so residents can see them.
Yeah.
And so they're scheduled to come in January. So we're excited about, putting that up, because we are going to put up, like I was mentioning, a huge wall going from administration office. And of course, we're relocating to Village Square on December 10th. And then we'll extend past the mailboxes up close to the elevator.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and so we're in the process, communication coming out of getting those resident mailboxes exchanged to their new ones. That's something that's upcoming, so residents, please look out for communication. There should be a cubby stuffer coming out.
We are out of time.
Man, my segment is short. I felt like Jason was in here for like 30 minutes.
No, and we just talked right through it. Is there any last word you have that you'd like to say?
No, just, happy holidays. And,
there you go.
I wish everyone well. And if you have any questions, please come see us.
Okay.
Again, I want to let everybody know we're moving on December 10th. The administration office will be in Village Square.
Okay, good. We'll look for you to be over here.